In this video, we'll be taking a look at 3 NFL games happening on November 3rd, 2024, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games. So 6 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 3 NFL games after fully watching this video. One thing before we start, if you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. Denver Broncos versus Baltimore Ravens. 2 American Football Conference teams deeply embroiled in the playoff hunt take the field this Sunday afternoon in Charm City, each looking for a critical win as the season approaches its midpoint. The Denver Broncos are heading east for an away game against the Baltimore Ravens, hoping to secure a crucial road victory. Denver comes into this matchup following a 28-14 home victory over the Carolina Panthers last Sunday, in which they comfortably covered the spread as a 13-point favorite. On the other hand, Baltimore faced a disappointing 29-24 road loss to the Cleveland Browns last week, failing to meet expectations as a 7-point favorite. Historically, Baltimore has held a slight edge in this matchup, leading the all-time regular season series 8-6 and claiming victory in the last 3 encounters. Their most recent clash saw the Ravens narrowly edge out a 10-9 win at home on December 4, 2022. Both teams enter this game in strong form, each having won 5 of their last 6 contests. However, Baltimore possesses a notable offensive advantage, ranking as the league leader in rushing yards while also boasting the 5th best passing attack. Denver's pass defense is formidable, but they've shown vulnerability against the run, which could pose a problem against Baltimore's dynamic ground game. Given the Ravens' strengths, Denver will likely struggle to contain Baltimore's offense, especially if the Ravens exploit their edge in the running game. Offensively, the Broncos face an uphill battle. Their passing game ranks among the league's worst, limiting their ability to threaten through the air. While Denver has been relatively effective running the ball, they'll face a stern test against Baltimore's league best run defense, which allows fewer than 70 rushing yards per game. Knowing Denver's limitations, the Ravens will likely prioritize stopping the pass, aiming to pressure Denver's quarterback, Bo Nix, into making mistakes. Baltimore ranks 5th in the league in sacks, so Nix can expect relentless pressure from the Ravens' defense. The Ravens, previously seen as unstoppable, were unexpectedly defeated by the 1-win Browns last week. However, they'll be highly motivated to rebound with a strong performance against Denver. Prior to the loss, Baltimore was on a 5-game winning streak, scoring at least 28 points in each of those victories, and they'll be eager to channel any lingering frustration into a dominant showing. While both teams hold a respectable 5-3 record, there's a notable talent gap, particularly in offensive firepower. Denver's offense has struggled to gain momentum, ranking near the bottom of the league in yards per passing attempt, and Nix has managed only 8 touchdown passes this season. Although he's shown some improvement lately, his success has largely come against weaker teams like the Raiders, Saints, and Panthers. Baltimore's pass defense has had its challenges, but they've faced elite quarterbacks such as Patrick Mahomes, Dak Prescott, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, and Jaden Daniels, making Nix a comparatively less daunting opponent. Baltimore's offense, led by Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry, has been unstoppable on the ground, consistently racking up yardage at a league-best average of 6.2 yards per carry, over a yard higher than the next best team, the Washington Commanders. Henry, in particular, has been in top form, posting at least 92 rushing yards in 5 of his last 6 games and scoring 9 touchdowns this season. Denver's defense has been respectable against the run, but it's unlikely they'll be able to keep Baltimore's high-powered offense out of the end zone, so the Baltimore Ravens to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. The recent scoring trends for both teams suggest that this game could go over the projected total. Denver has scored an average of 22 points per game and leans heavily on the passing game, throwing on 56% of their plays. They're facing a Baltimore defense that ranks last in the league against the pass and concedes an average of 26 points per game. Meanwhile, Baltimore averages 30 points per game and excels both in rushing and in the passing game. The Broncos have struggled to defend against the run on the road and haven't encountered a rushing attack as potent as Baltimore's, which is likely to lead to a high-scoring affair. Given these factors, over the projected total is our full game total pick. Las Vegas Raiders versus Cincinnati Bengals. As the season approaches its midpoint, two American Football Conference teams struggling to gain footing face off in a matchup in Cincinnati, home to the iconic Skyline Chili. The Las Vegas Raiders are hitting the road, traveling east to challenge the Cincinnati Bengals this Sunday afternoon. In their last outing, the Raiders suffered a 27-20 loss to the Kansas City Chiefs at home, though they managed to cover the spread as 8.5-point underdogs. Meanwhile, the Bengals were handed a crushing 37-17 defeat at home by the Philadelphia Eagles, losing outright as 2.5-point favorites. Historically, the Raiders hold a 19-12 edge in the all-time regular season series between these teams, but the Bengals claimed a decisive 32-13 victory in their last encounter, a road game on November 21, 2021. The Raiders appear to be in a state of disarray as they enter Week 9 with a 2-6 record and issues mounting across multiple positions, particularly at quarterback, receiver, and running back. A significant roster shakeup involved the trade of star wide receiver Davante Adams, who was sent to reunite with Aaron Rodgers, leaving quarterback Gardner Minshew with a limited array of targets. His primary options are now Jacoby Meyers and rookie tight end Brock Bowers. Beyond them, the passing game lacks depth. While most struggling teams might lean more heavily on the run, the Raiders are finding little success on the ground. They rank near the bottom in rushing attempts and rushing yards per game this season. Although Zamir White began the season as the primary running back, he was quickly relegated in favor of Alexander Mattison, who has yet to make a significant impact, rushing for fewer than 40 yards in 6 of 8 games. This lackluster rushing attack has been a major contributor to the Raiders' stagnant offense. The Bengals, though marginally better in record, are not far ahead of the Raiders, entering Week 9 at 3-5 after a sluggish start and a difficult schedule featuring games against tough opponents like the Ravens, Browns, and Eagles. The celebrated duo of Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase has found its rhythm, but the team has been hampered by the inconsistent availability of wide receiver T. Higgins, who has missed time this season and is again questionable for Week 9. In Higgins' absence, Burrow has relied more on tight end Mike Gesicki, which has produced solid results, though it's not quite the same as having a full-strength receiving core. The Bengals' run game has also been inconsistent, but even so, Cincinnati remains a stronger team overall compared to Las Vegas. For the Bengals, Week 9 is a critical opportunity to realign their season, and Burrow will be expected to set the tone with a commanding performance. At 3-5, the Bengals are reaching a critical juncture where every game counts, and a victory here is crucial if they hope to stay in the playoff race. While the Raiders may already be looking toward the next season, the Bengals have an opportunity to use a softer upcoming schedule to their advantage, potentially aiming for a 10-7 finish if they can string together a few wins. Joe Burrow's talent and poise give Cincinnati a significant advantage over Gardner Minshew, and with key players like Chase, defensive end Trey Hendrickson, and Burrow himself, the Bengals should have the upper hand. Cincinnati's defense, though dealing with some injuries, should still have enough firepower to stymie the Raiders' struggling offense. Additionally, the Bengals have won 5 of their last 6 games against the Raiders, and each of those victories has been by a margin of at least 7 points. Thus, the Cincinnati Bengals to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Las Vegas has frequently played in high-scoring games this season, with 5 of their 8 games going over the total. In their 4 road games, the Raiders have split results against the total, staying under in matchups with the Chargers and Rams, but hitting the over in a win against Baltimore and a loss to Denver. On the other side, Cincinnati has also leaned toward the over, with a 5-3 record against the total in their 8 games. At home, the Bengals have gone over the projected total in 3 of their 4 games, with the only under occurring in a season-opening loss to New England. With both teams ranking in the lower quarter of the league in scoring defense, there's a strong likelihood of enough points being scored to push this game over the projected total. Consequently, over the projected total is our full game total pick. New Orleans Saints versus Carolina Panthers. On Sunday afternoon, the New Orleans Saints will face off against the Carolina Panthers in a highly anticipated National Football Conference South showdown at Bank of America Stadium. Entering this game, the Saints hold a 2-6 record following a tough loss to the Los Angeles Chargers last week. Meanwhile, the Panthers, who are currently 1-7, suffered their 5th consecutive defeat in a road game against the Denver Broncos. Both teams are looking to turn their seasons around, with the Saints seeking a rebound and the Panthers desperate to break their extended losing streak. The Saints had an impressive start to the season, winning their first 2 games in dominant fashion. but they've struggled significantly since then. Quarterback Derek Carr's inconsistent presence on the field due to injuries has led to a series of disappointing performances, and the team has now lost 6 straight games, dropping to a 2-6 record. The season appears to be slipping away, but with Carr set to return, there's hope he can provide the boost New Orleans needs as they go up against one of the league's weakest teams. Carolina is dealing with numerous injuries, notably at the quarterback position, where Andy Dalton is likely to miss this matchup due to a thumb injury. The Panthers' defense has also been shaky, ranking 25th in the league against the pass and struggling particularly in home games, losing 7 of their last 8 contests on their own turf. Both teams are in rough patches, but the return of Derek Carr gives the Saints a critical edge. New Orleans has struggled offensively in 3 of their last 4 games, but against Carolina's porous defense, they have a strong chance of finding their rhythm. On the other hand, the Panthers have had one of the lowest scoring offenses in the league this season, and with their quarterback situation uncertain, their outlook remains bleak. For these reasons, the New Orleans Saints to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. The Saints are expected to start fast, as they did in their previous game against the Panthers in Week 1. Historically, New Orleans has often hit the over on the second quarter game total, achieving it in 11 of their last 17 games, and has also reached the first half game total over in 14 of their last 20 games. The Panthers have followed a similar trend at home, with the second quarter game total going over in 6 of their last 8 home games, and the first half total over cashing in 12 of their last 20 games. With Derek Carr back leading the Saints offense and wide receiver Chris Olave getting back to full speed after recently returning from a concussion, New Orleans should be poised to score efficiently. Carolina's defense is severely undermanned due to a host of injuries to key starters, and their ability to contain the Saints offense is questionable at best. In their first meeting this season, New Orleans put up 48 points, taking advantage of Carolina's weak secondary under Carr's direction. While a repeat of that explosive performance isn't necessarily expected, the Saints are likely to reach at least 30 points in this game. Though New Orleans has been giving up the most yards per game in the league, Carolina should still be able to score around a dozen points. Therefore, over the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.